Hello class 8 NS ma'am once again. Today we are going to finish the chapter coal and petroleum. In the previous video we have discussed up to the coal. In this video we are going to discuss about petroleum and natural gas. So let us start the chapter once again, coal and petroleum, the last part. So students, today we are going to discuss about petroleum and natural gas. So first, let us know what is petroleum. It is a dark brownish to green colored viscous liquid fossil fuel. Now what is viscous liquid fossil fuel? Viscous means sticky, those things that have sticky consistency. So petroleum is neither solid nor a liquid substance. We can say it is a semi-liquid or semi-solid substance with a sticky consistency. That is, it is known as a viscous liquid fossil fuel. Okay. Now, how the name is derived? The petroleum name, how it comes? Okay. Its name derived from Latin words petra, that means rock, and oleum means oil. Because it can be found in the rocky surface or just beneath the rock layer, that is why it is known as the rock oil. Okay, so as the name suggests, petra means rock and oleum means oil. That's why petroleum is literally known as rock oil. Petroleum is also known as crude oil. Okay, and another very interesting thing, that petroleum is very important for the economic purpose. The economy of a nation depends to a great extent on petroleum wealth. If a country have a great deposition of petroleum, then we can say it is more rich than the other countries. That's why it is very important. The deposition of the petroleum in a country is very important for its economy. That's why petroleum is also known as black gold. So we can see that petroleum has three names: black gold, rock oil, and crude oil. Now we are going to discuss about its origin. Previously we learned about how the coal is formed from the dead plant matters. Now we are going to discuss about how petroleum is formed. When the dead sea animals and plants deposited on the seabed, after a very long period of time, because of this gradual deposition of dead and decaying sea animals and plants, they transformed into a liquid, that is the petroleum or that oil. They also emit a gas that is situated just the layer of the petroleum, just above the layer of the petroleum, that is the layer of natural gas. Now, because of that high temperature and high pressure, these decaying sea animals or sea organic materials transformed into this liquidish thing. Now, how can we get this liquid out of the sea? Now, we have to drill wells. A hole is drilled into the earth's crust, then the natural gas comes out fast with a great pressure. After this natural gas, the petroleum will start to flow. Now, because the gas is situated above the layer of the petroleum, so when we dig the hole in the earth crust, the fast natural gas will come out, and then we will get the petroleum. So this is how we can get petroleum from the seabed. Now, when we get the oil out of the wells, then we have to refine it, because there are some impurities mixed with that crude oil. Now, petroleum is a mixture of several hydrocarbons, water, salt, and rocky materials. So these are the unwanted part of the petroleum. So we have to eradicate out. The process of separating the various components of petroleum from one another is known as the refining of petroleum. So if we want to separate these components out of the petroleum, then we have to refine the petroleum. The process of separating this thing is known as the refining of petroleum. This refining is done in the refineries that must be present on the seaside, because it is easy to carry the petrol from the sea to the seaside, and immediately after getting the petroleum we can start the refining process. That's why the refinery is present on the seaside. Now, how the refining process is done? It is done by the process fractional distillation. Now, why it is called fractional distillation? Because the fraction of the temperature is maintained in this type of distillation. Okay, distillation, as you know, this is the process from where we can obtain the pure thing out of the mixture, out of its mixture. Like if we want to take out the pure water or the distilled water, we perform this distillation process. This is the same kind of thing, but fractional distillation is where in which the temperature of the boiling point is important. So it is based on the fact that the different components of petroleum have distinctly different boiling points. So because the components have different boiling points, so we take this characteristic, and using this thing we can separate them out from the petroleum. How? Let us see that in next. Observe this picture carefully. This is the picture of fractional distillation of petroleum. Here first you can see the crude oil is brought into this tower. This tower is made up of steel, okay, and there are different heating point also you can see here. And when the crude oil or the petroleum is passed inside of this tower, because of this different boiling point, we can obtain different product from this crude oil. Now, how this is happening? First we pass this crude oil into this tower. Then first you can see here there is a temperature maintained above 400 degrees centigrade. So here some substances are coming out. The above 400 degrees centigrade, the oil, the residuals of the oil like the paraffin wax, the asphalt, these are coming out. This can be obtained. Now from here, when the crude oil starts to boil, the vapor will rise. Here you can see the rising vapor. It is indicating vapor. Now, as you can see, here we have seen the temperature maintained about 400 degrees centigrade. Now here the temperature is maintained between 350 to 400 degree. When we gradually go upwards, we can see there is a decrease in temperature. So actually what is happening, when the crude oil is boiled here, then the vapor rise. After rising the vapor, when also we know another process, the condensation process, right? So when the vapor rises and when the temperature is lowered, then the vapor gets condensed. So in different temperature, different components of that crude oil get condensed. Like in the 350 to 400 degrees centigrade, we will find the fuel oil from the vapor. Now in 250 to 350 degrees centigrade, we are going to get diesel from this vapor. 170 degree to 250 degrees centigrade, kerosene will come out. 40 to 170 degrees centigrade, petrol will come out, and below the 40 degrees centigrade, petroleum gas will come out from this tower. So this is the fractional distillation, that is based on the boiling point of different constituents of the crude oil. Here you can get, or you can see the different products of the petroleum refining: petroleum gas, petrol, kerosene, diesel, fuel oil, and their boiling range. How we in which boiling point we can get them, and their uses are also demonstrated. Like the petroleum gas, we use as domestic fuel. Now petrol is used as automobile fuel, kerosene domestic fuel. Here you can get the chart of this product and their uses. This is from the basic science. Now we are going to discuss about natural gas. As we already know, that natural gas is formed along the petroleum when microscopic sea plants and animals died and got buried under the seabed or the sand and mud layer. Okay, after deposition of the dead things, when the oil is forming, a gas is also evolved in this process. As the gas is lighter than the liquid, it deposited upper layer of the petroleum. This is known as the natural gas. Now, which things are present or which things made this natural gas? There are different other gaseous substances are present, but mainly it is made up of methane. Here you can see 85% of the natural gas is of methane, 10% ethane, 3% propane, and butane in 2%. Okay, so these are the some of the components of the natural gases. There are many other components, but these are the main, and methane is the main one that is making the maximum of the natural gas. Now, natural gas can be used as CNG or compressed natural gas. How it is possible? If we compress gas at high temperature, then it will form the CNG. CNG, we use them as fuels in the household or in the factories also. So this is very important gas or natural gas. Okay, so here you can see when we supply the CNG or the natural gas, we directly supply it through the pipes, long pipes. So the refineries, if the refineries are situated just beside the sea, it becomes more easier to supply this natural gas. Uses of natural gas: it is used for fuel, as I said, for the transport. Number 2, fuels for homes and factories also, and they can be supplied through the pipes. Where they are supplied like this way, in the Vadodara, Gujarat, and some parts of Delhi in our country, they are supplied by the pipes. Okay. Now, where we can find this deposition of natural gas? It can be found in Tripura, Rajasthan, Maharashtra, and in the Krishna Godavari Delta in India. So this was about the natural gas. Now there are two important question comes related with fuels. Number 1, what makes a good fuel? Let us discuss the answer. There are some points on which we can say that a particular fuel is good fuel or ideal fuel. Like if the fuel or if the substance can be easily available. Number 2, if it should be the fuel should be cheap. It should have a high calorific value. It should have a low ignition point, which is not lower than room temperature. It must not be lower than room temperature. If it is so, then it will ignite it itself. But it is not wanted. That's why the ignition point must be low, but not lower than room temperature. The good fuel should not burn too fast or too slowly. The combustion of the substance should not produce harmful substances like soot, poisonous gases, etc. No residues should be left on combustion. It should be safe to store, handle, and transport. These points make a fuel good. Now the second question, why gaseous fuels are better than solid and liquid fuels? To discuss this answer, let us see what are the disadvantages of using solid and liquid fuels. Now, on burning the solid and liquid fuels, we can get harmful gases. This type of fuels have solid residues. The stock of the coal or petroleum is limited. Coal dust causes health problems. So, these are the limitation of the solid and liquid fuels. But in case of gaseous fuels, these negative points are very lower. That's why we prefer CNG or LPG over the solid and liquid fuels. Okay students, that's all for today. Hope these two videos related on this chapter, coal and petroleum, help you to understand the subject matter. Go and study. If you face any problem to study, you can follow these two videos. In the next video, we are going to discuss another chapter. Till then, keep studying. and safe at home. Thank you.